can your man change? He suffers from low self-esteem. He's acting out. What can I do? Paul, can you coach me? Can you help me? Can we talk? Can I pay for your time? Which I'm so grateful for, by the way, for your questions. I'm a full-time real estate professional. I simply don't have time, and I want to make this video to run through my opinion here, okay? If your man's suffering from low self-esteem, he's acting out. Now, how do guys act out when they suffer from insecurities, from low self-esteem, from this hole inside them, right? Well, most of the time, they're probably going to have some sort of a vice or device to make them feel better, to distract them from this hole inside, okay? For a lot of guys, that's alcohol and drugs. It's going to be attention from the opposite sex, even though he has you. And you're probably gorgeous and wonderful, aren't you? But he wants attention from other girls. He can't get enough. It never works, does it? He just keeps needing more and more. He wants to be the center of attention. He wants to go out and party. He wants people to like him. He hates thinking people dislike him, okay? And maybe he gets so angry and worked up when he thinks people dislike him or misunderstand him. He just needs to be fulfilled. He needs to make a lot of money. He needs to be successful. He needs to get famous. He needs. He takes. He's incredibly selfish, isn't he? And he's probably on dating sites, or maybe you haven't yet, but maybe you'll catch him, hopefully not, but maybe you'll catch him texting someone or messaging someone or flirting with someone. This guy takes out of the world, and he very rarely gives, doesn't he? So what can you do about it? Well, you're not going to like my answer. In my opinion, not a lot. Now let's discuss why. When I suffered with these issues years ago, and for a lot of my life, this was deep-seated stuff. I remember when I was a child feeling these things, feeling this separateness, this isolation from people. I mean, literally, we're talking about like third, fourth grade. I felt these things. I felt different. I felt singled out, and I didn't feel right about my place with my peers and with other people. I felt damaged in some way, blackened in some way. Now, I think a lot of guys feel that, and that's the key to insecurities, to deep-seated low self-esteem. It can stem from stuff as a child, and it can be really sad, okay? But he's not a kid anymore, and now he's affecting you in your life and your sanity, I'm sure, okay? And maybe your family, maybe your children, all right? This is serious stuff, and it's deep-seated stuff that takes either professional help or a combination of professional help and some sort of spiritual, in my experience, spiritual revelation, a philosophical change, okay? Now, for me, that took getting sober and realizing that alcohol and attention from women and many other things were crutches for me to hide this problem inside, this feeling that I wasn't enough, that I didn't have what it takes. It's serious stuff. And if your man suffers from that, there's no, besides this one, no sort of special techniques or tools or conversation you can have that's going to change that. It's going to take him doing the work and realizing for himself that he needs to change, that he can't keep going on this way, okay? It doesn't matter how bad things have gotten. It matters how not good things are. I mean, is this as good as it's ever going to get? He has to realize that if he wants things to ever get better, he's got to make some massive changes. He's got to get free. Is he free, or is he a slave to this feeling, to this running, to this fear of this hole in himself, okay? Is he looking for ways to fill this thing and not just looking at it and saying, wow, I got this fucking hole inside of me. What can I do about it? Until he takes a long, hard look and makes serious, not just phases. You know, sometimes guys, maybe he's gone through this phase before, or he got really into working out and that really helped him. Or, you know, he stopped drinking for a couple months and he was doing really good. And then he just went right back, didn't he? Wasn't it just a phase, okay? And maybe he goes through these phases. Maybe he starts a business. He gets real amped up. He gets on a workout kick. He gets real amped up. And he keeps going back to his default. And his default is shit right now. It doesn't have to be, okay? But right now, his behavior, his everything, he's not in the right place, okay? And he needs to break out of that. And you can't do it for him. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't. He's got to do it for himself. He's got to have wholesale philosophical, spiritual change. He's got to look up to a power greater than himself. For me, that's God. That's the universe. Okay? That's destiny. That's God's will. That all I can do is do my best. Make the best possible decisions I can in the moment. Everything else is up to the universe, is up to God. Okay? And now I do good for good sake. I do good because it's good. I do the right thing because it's the right thing, not because it feels the best. It doesn't. Not because it gets me, in the moment, the best results. It doesn't. The hedonistic side of me wants to do the bad things. Okay? I miss going out. I'll just tell you, I miss sometimes going out, getting drunk, and taking home someone for the night. Sure, it was fun in the moment a lot of times. It was. I had some cool stories. But you know what? It tormented my soul the day after and in the years to come. And when you layer and layer and layer those dishonorable behaviors, those bad choices on top of each other, you end up with a shit life and a shit psyche and a shit soul and low self-esteem and unconfidence, no belief in yourself, in your discipline, in your power to make good decisions. So if that's where your guy's at, okay, if he feels like a victim of himself, of his own life, of his own choices, there's no kind of pep talk you can give him, dear. And I'm really sorry about that. But there's not. You can't change who he is right now. You can try to point him in the right direction. You can give him some tools, some tips. You can buy him some cool books. Maybe you can go to couples therapy together, okay? But a lot of times he's going to be in denial. And he's going to think it's something else. Only if this, if my dad wasn't this way, if I wasn't raised this way, if I only had this, if only this asshole would stop judging me, if only this and this and this and that. It's going to be something, okay? Or maybe he'll admit, no, I'm a piece of shit, I know. And he plays a victim, and he won't see the fact that he can change. He'll just give up. And that is not fair either, okay? That's just playing the victim card. So, anyways, that's all I can say about that right now. I wish I could say more, but the point I was trying to make is that these are big, wholesale, philosophical, like religious level spiritual changes that's got to happen in someone. And a lot of times that takes professional help. It takes years of work and a consistent pattern of good decisions and a different life and a different target, different goals. Okay, and this isn't something that changes overnight. So keep this in mind. I mean, if it means leaving somebody, I guess it means leaving somebody. I've been left before. He'll survive. Okay? You have to make sure you do, though. It's okay to be selfish when it comes to your own good choices, your own well-being, your own health. You have a duty to protect that, okay? So don't stay with someone and try to help. Don't try to fix him, okay? I had a lot of women do that for me, and I feel really bad. I have to make amends to some of those people now for, the suffering I put them through, and they didn't deserve that, okay? So listen, thanks so much for watching. This is Paul. I'm signing out. Have a wonderful night. Take care.